TheSlice. This is Cruz and Carlos and myself, Gambino. Today we have a little special episode today. Today is what we call the rant. And how scary it is.
What grinds our gears?
What grinds your gears? What infuriates your gonads? And today's obviously prosecutor of the night is Sir Carlos and his rant of Star Trek Discovery.
Yes.
Carlos, we give you the floor. Please, sir. The floor is yours.
Well, you're the one who has the problem with Star Trek.
Obviously, because I watch the show.
Yes, you all watch it non-stop.
I can't get enough of Picard.
Picard?
Yeah, and his force, and the midichlorian.
Midichlorians?
Yeah.
I will hang you. I will hang you.
Okay, all right. Like I said, sir, as you may continue, what does Star Trek do to you, and what's the love of it?
Well, the love is...
There is no love.
As I'm sure, Gamby, you have your love of horror.
Yes, they're cheap.
And whores.
Mm-hmm.
Cruz, you have your love of other things, other minutia.
Yeah, he likes to dabble in the arts of what is it?
CW.
CW.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mahjong.
Mahjong, yes. Okay. I have my love of sci-fi.
Okay.
My love of sci-fi.
But
mainly my main lady love being Star Trek.
Where does that come from?
Childhood.
Childhood. Please explain.
Yes, well, I watched Star Trek when growing up as a child with my dad and my brothers. It's literally the first memory I have as a human. Watching Star Trek: The Next Generation with my dad and my brothers. That's to this day, we're all different people, but we can still all sit down and talk about the Star Trek we like or don't dislike.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
No matter how different we are, we all have that thing.
Okay.
To this day, we can be like, hey, didn't that one episode, didn't you like it? Hey, didn't that one suck?
It's like family dinners.
Yes. Once we're done murdering each other, we can talk about that.
Nice. And from there on, the love of it has grown, right?
Grown, yes. It's not grown, just unshaken.
Has it gone beyond the stars?
Yes. Thank you.
Is that a quote from there, right?
No.
No, okay. It's from somewhere else, probably.
Yeah, it's from somewhere else. That's why. Fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
The love goes to infinity and beyond.
Oh, yes. Yeehaw. You got a friend in me. Anyways, okay. What shows where...
Well, I like them. I'll admit not all of them are perfect.
Yeah.
Star Trek Voyager, not the best one. Star Trek Enterprise didn't get good until the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Your dog is loud.
He's dying.
The Star Trek Enterprise didn't get good till the last 2 seasons. But all of them had stuff that they're watchable. Yeah. I could watch them all and find the good stuff in all of them. Yeah. Except for this son of a bitch.
Oh, do tell. And what is Discovery?
Star Trek Discovery, just a failure on every level.
May you...
failure, Will Robinson, failure.
Will you explain their failures?
It's just, it fails at being good TV. It fails at being good Star Trek. It just fails.
What is good Star Trek?
Let me start off with this. Mm-hmm. All right. Star Trek has always had a biased message.
Okay.
A politically biased message.
Political, you said.
About religion and politics and all that. But it was in your face about it, but it was never condescending.
Okay.
It never said, if you don't believe in this, you're an idiot.
Oh, okay.
It never said that. It said, hey, you are what you are, but, maybe you can do this. But it was never in your face about it. Star Trek Discovery, on the other hand, if I can quote one of the producers, like the main producer, he said, if you're right wing in any way at all, this Star Trek isn't for you.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Already just...
straight up saying, fuck you to anybody who might be...
right wing.
Yeah, anything at all. Like, if you're just a little bit in this way...
This became very political.
Yeah. I mean, even before the show came out, there were people posting those I'm gonna take a knee with Colin Kaepernick and shit, and all the cast were doing that. Yeah. I mean, I don't remember Captain Picard or Janeway, the actors, doing shit like this.
Damn.
And I mean, after the show, you know, they've all had their little shit and
Moments.
and their causes, but none of
Yeah.
them ever went like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, maybe they're just doing this to get hype. And then I saw the first episode.
Yes. And how was that?
Was it really bad?
It was bad.
How bad?
Jinx, you owe me something.
I owe you slice of pizza.
Hey. Is that
keep-
my mine?
Yeah.
Hey, I should stop.
The first episode was just bad.
Really?
Like, what it dealt with in the lore, I was like, no, this is like, you know those guys who go like, well, actually, technically, in episode 3, 4, 5, that's
Yeah.
me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this doesn't make sense. This is not how it goes.
This doesn't make any
Okay,
sense.
why a prequel?
Oh.
Why a prequel? All this shit is set before Kirk.
Aren't prequels hard?
Yeah, because like you gotta follow all the rules.
How many prequels does Star Trek have?
Well, none.
None.
Enterprise wasn't a
Oh yeah,
prequel?
wait, yeah, I mixed up. Yeah.
Ooh.
Boom!
Boom. Yeah. Oh fuck, you got me.
And I'm not even a fan.
You watched Star Trek.
He did. He's a big fan.
Okay, so it was Captain Kirk. Then the next one with Picard took place 100 years later, and then Cisco and Janeway, all of them were after, and then Enterprise was a prequel.
Yeah.
But it took place like 100 years before, and it for the most part followed the lore.
Yeah.
This one just went fuck the lore.
Damn.
Just
Chinga su madre, güey.
Just fucking yeah, chingas tu madre, no quiero.
Oh.
Oh.
It just said fuck the lore, and it dealt with like a big. All right, Cruz. Imagine if they made a movie about the Jedi Sith War.
Okay.
That's something you're excited, right?
Uh-huh.
You would be pumped for it. You're like, dude, let's fucking see this.
Good how?
And then they botch it.
No.
Like my point is like it's something big in the lore.
You fuckers.
Like you're not dealing with just some bounty hunter on the side. Like this is something you gotta get right. And the thing was dealing with something big, the Klingon Federation War, and they fucked it up.
How did they fuck it up?
And then the main character's just unlikable.
How did they fuck it up?
she's-
And how is she unlikable?
She's just unlikable. Like she's just
Do tell.
like for example, there's a few episodes that take place in an alternate dimension where everybody's evil. You know, everybody has a mustache
Ah,
or a
yes.
beard. Yeah, your evil self, and she perfectly fits in that universe.
Really?
Like she's not even acting; she's just acting like herself.
What?
And everybody in that universe buys it. Like, yeah, she's a piece of shit.
Seriously? So.
And everybody's like, oh my god, this universe is horrible. This universe, like, everybody's killing each other. And she's like, I get it.
Oh, wow. So
I'm
she
done.
probably came from there.
Yeah, like, that was like, I was like, she's just a piece of shit. She fits in so well with the universe that's evil.
Why would they make her into a piece of shit?
I don't know. She's a transsexual. They're trying to make her woke.
Why do they need that?
I don't know.
Is he transsexual?
Does it really matter in the episode? Like in the show?
It doesn't matter.
Like, does it show anything that she's just besides her banging chicks?
They have a flashback where she's a little boy.
Really?
Yeah,
She's a boy?
she's a boy. And in the show, she's a woman, so, like, she...
So she trans.
Yeah.
Okay. Does any of that matter? Like, does that? No, nothing.
doesn't.
You could have just been a badass chick, right? Sarah Connor wasn't a
Yeah.
dude when she was little. She just became a
Even if
man.
they
Like,
got-
oh, not man. She became a badass. Just becoming all that all life experience.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people try to get that whole shtick about like what makes you like tough, and it's like, oh, is it becoming something else? Like, no, just your experience through life that makes you like that. You know, you've gone through some shit. You've go like, yeah, I've known shit.
I've known shit, yeah.
Yeah, like the Mandalorian.
Exactly.
I was smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like even if they got her right and made her a badass, you could just been like, well, technically she's a man.
Ah, all right.
Why do they do that? I don't like that. It's like, oh, the first transgender superhero. It's like, okay, so what?
Yeah,
Just
like
bring it out.
they were trying to do that a lot. Like, oh, see, we're being PC.
I remember, I think Ryan, someone on Reddit did that about Marvel. They're like, oh, their first gay character, gay superhero, and then I go, so what does this have to do with the story? Like, what is it important for? And they're like, what do you mean? Like, what's the business of them just being gay? Like, are they just gay just to be gay, or they're gay because something's gonna happen? You know,
It was like that Lando thing.
right? He likes to bang robots or something.
Yeah, he likes to bang. He's pansexual, and then they never bring it up in the movie, and it's like, well, why did you say that then?
Why is it so important?
Right?
Why is it important for us to know that she's transgender?
Yeah, I mean, why do they do that sometimes? It's literally just to get a reaction.
I mean, it's not like we're homophobic or anything, but it's
Yeah.
like you're the one saying it.
Yeah.
You're the one saying it. Why are you saying it then?
Okay,
No.
she's transgender. Cool, whatever. All right. What's her character about?
Yeah.
Right?
If you're gonna go into the character's past, it better be something that's relevant to the story.
I'm literally choking on sausage.
Speaking of transsexual,
Right? Okay, but yeah, you're correct on that. Not correct, but you make a point that why does it really matter if she's transsexual?
okay. Oh, and the show's about her.
Really?
The show, you know how all Star Trek shows, like it's a crew,
Yeah.
like the captain is the main guy, but it's the crew. No, the show's about her.
Really? Why do you think they did that?
Because the rest of the characters, like I off the top of my head cannot name any of the other ones. I can name 3
Bob?
characters. Her, Michael Burnham, Saru, he's actually kind of a cool alien. I like him. And
Spock.
Captain Lorca. That's it.
Captain Lorca.
That's
Sounds
it.
like
Orca?
fucking whale. An Orca whale.
Yeah. Who's he played by? I forgot what's he been in.
But is there any wins, any moments where you're like, oh, this is nice.
There was one moment in the first episode where I was like, that's pretty fucking clever. Like, that is damn good writing.
Like what?
Like, that must have come from that one Star Trek writer in the back, like, I have an idea.
Yeah. What was that?
Also, in the first episode where the first episode, they make contact with the Klingons.
Yeah.
Alright, I won't bore you with the details.
No, hey, you ran away. This is your episode, man.
They make contact with the Klingons. And basically the captain says, oh, we're gonna message them and tell them, we come in peace, we're the Federation, we come in peace, don't shoot us. And then they shoot at them.
Holy
So Michael Burnham's like, okay, we need to find another way to contact them. So she contacts her old Vulcan teacher and says, you guys were exploring the universe way before humans. How did you talk to them? And he told them, oh, the Klingons are a warrior race. All they understand is violence. Shoot at them first.
What the fuck?
Like, shoot at them first. They'll respect the fact that you are brave enough to confront them, and they'll back away. That's what we did. And I was like, that's pretty fucking clever.
Damn.
In the universe, that's really smart.
Yeah.
And then she takes that information to her captain, and the captain goes, who told you this? And she was like, my Vulcan professor.
Yeah.
And she was like, fuck that.
What? What the hell?
No, literally just missed everything she was just told.
Yeah. But I was like, that was really smart. That was really smart.
And then they're like, you're stupid at the end.
You're stupid.
Yeah.
Fuck that. None of that matters.
Would have worked.
It would have. Like, in the universe, that made sense to me. Like, I was like, that's brilliant.
Alright, speaking of Star Trek Discovery, I want to bring it up. The movies. The recent ones. With,
J.J. Abrams?
yes.
Not like the J.J. Abrams. The Abrams first.
How do you feel about that?
I like him.
Are you Carlos Cruz?
But he saw him.
Oh, you saw. Hey, Cruz. Hey. Amiga.
I like him. They're not canon.
Really? Okay.
They're not canon. It's an alternate universe. It's an alternate timeline.
Is that what you guys tell each other at night to go to sleep?
Yes.
There are no alternate.
Well,
never happened.
J.J. Abrams has said, like, none of this affects the main timeline.
Is he that scared to piss off a lot of people?
Well, you know what? It lets him have fun. And there's some stuff in the J.J. universe that I'm like, okay, you're indulging, but it's fun.
Well, that makes sense. I do respect that. If he says, well, I want to do it my own way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
That's commendable.
The first one, I wasn't a fan of it, because I was like, oh, that doesn't fit into the Star Trek canon.
Yeah. Not on my days.
The second one, I like the message of it. And the third one, they had their ups and downs.
The third one with Khan.
The second one was Khan.
The second one was Khan.
Yeah, I didn't like Khan in that one, though. He was a good villain, but not a good Khan.
And what makes a great Khan?
Well, it's like your thing about Captain Zemo.
Uh-huh.
It was an okay villain, but not a good Captain Zemo.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. So Discovery, for you, in the end, it wasn't really your cup of tea.
That was not my cup of tea. It was horrible, and I was so happy when they announced that it's not canon.
Okay, now speaking of more things coming up with canon or not, Picard
Picard.
Is that canon or the new upcoming
It's
show?
gonna be canon, so hopefully they do it right.
You were telling me that you're scared of it. Why are you so scared of it? You seemed adamant at first when I asked you. You're like, "Oh God!" You rolled your eyes. You rolled your eyes to the back of your head. You saw
like
your
you're
brain. And
I
you were
wanted
disappointed.
this from a new Star Trek show. I wanted them to be like, here's a new ship, here's a new captain, here's a new crew, set a few years or decades after Picard,
Yeah.
where they deal with new shit and new problems, the same way all the other shows have. And then maybe make a few references like, Picard, he became president of the Federation, blah, blah, blah. Like they do in all the shows.
Yeah.
But no, they were like, nope, we gotta do Picard.
Damn. And you have a problem with Picard?
I love Picard. I love him. He's great. I just hope, because they really haven't showed too much of him in the trailers, and I hope that Patrick Stewart plays Picard.
Sir Patrick Stewart.
Yes, Sir. Oh, sorry, he's been knighted.
Hey, you don't just...
He's been knighted by Mom.
Mom, of course. Mom's the word.
But I hope he plays Picard and not Patrick Stewart.
Or Xavier.
Yeah. Like, you know how some actors get, like, after a while, they're like, oh, I'm just going to play myself.
Yeah.
It's like, no, play Picard.
Picard was awesome.
Yeah.
Picard was legit. Picard or Kirk?
Cisco,
Cisco.
the black man.
Ah,
I go for Cisco's my guy.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, is that a common pick, or do you think a lot of people are more likely turn to Picard or Kirk?
A lot of people choose between Picard or Kirk, but I'm a Deep Space
I go with
guy.
the female.
Genuine?
With the female.
How dare you?
Oh, that scene was
Sexist pig.
awesome.
Huh?
This was 7 of 9.
Was she the one with the thing on her face?
But she's not a captain.
Why she gotta be a captain, bruh?
She was a captain. Not 7 of 9, but the...
Captain Janeway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Captain. She doesn't even know what he's talking about.
Speaking of who doesn't know what they're
7 of 9.
talking about, Quentin Tarantino. He says he wants to do one. Do you think he's gonna do
I
one?
don't think it's gonna happen.
You think it's just all fluff?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Well, they
it would
just-
be cool.
Didn't they just greenlight part 4? Do you think that's why he backed off?
I don't know.
They greenlight the next one?
I don't know. I stay away from that news because you know how it's like, oh, we're making this movie. Oh, never.
Nothing happens, right? And then we're like, retract the news.
Yeah.
We do not retract here. We're like Jonah Jameson. We don't retract.
Give him pictures. We find
Never
her
retract.
That's ridiculous. It's done.
Okay, so for you, since talking about scripts, for you, have you ever had a thought of making a Star Trek? Like, what for you is a perfect Star Trek movie or show, if you had the option?
That's a big question.
That is a big question, but this is your.
that's like asking Cruz how he would do the Wolverine.
That's simple. He's like, oh, Berserker, Jean Grey.
He's like, I have a pass.
I have a pass. There, I just made his movie.
Vaya con Dios.
Just put Jean Grey, Wolverine, and a bottle of tequila, and put him in Mexico.
You're a racist. That would actually be kind of cool.
There you go. He takes on the cartel.
Leave Wolverine alone.
If this movie gets made, we're gonna know who pitched it first.
We pitched it a long time ago.
I don't know. Maybe just like I said, just do a captain. Set it a few years after.
How about a few years away from everybody else?
Yeah, just like we wanted with Star Wars.
Just
Like
completely
just
new cast.
leave the Skywalkers alone and just do your own thing. Just like that. Star Trek Next Generation did that when it was the original series. Then the Next Generation was 100 years after that. So they were able to do whatever they wanted, and do the same. Do another
So
100
what
years.
you're saying that Star Wars is Star Trek years after?
Yes,
That makes sense.
makes sense.
So Star Wars copied Star Trek.
Star Trek. Which one came out first?
Star Trek.
Star Trek. Star Wars copied Star Trek.
Star Trek came out in the 60s. Star Wars came out in the 70s.
Fucking narcs, man.
Wait. That's correct, then. That's...
Fucking George Lucas.
Okay, speaking of let's say, for you, what's that question? The question slipped out of my mind.
I bet you Cruz would like the new Star Trek show.
Really?
Picard?
No, Discovery.
Oh wow, it's messed up.
No, just because I already hear you complain about it, I lost interest in it.
But it does have pew 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 pew.
Ooh.
All gunfights?
Does it have...
Yes, it does.
I was gonna ask you, right now since Discovery was a total letdown, what is a show right now that's somewhat like Star Trek that has your interest?
The Expanse.
The Expanse?
The
I was kind of hoping for you to say the Orville.
The Orville too, yes. The Orville and the Expanse. The Orville is Star Trek done right. The Orville is more Star Trek than Star Trek right now.
The Expanse. I've never heard you talk about it.
Yes, you have.
When?
Okay, guys. Star
I've
Trek
only
came
heard
out
Orville.
in 1966.
Yes. It's
So
the year I was
a few years after before Star Wars. So
When did Star Wars come out?
Star Wars came out in.
He's like, you had like, you had the,
You had the whole hour to look it up.
yeah, and then he's like, oh, I'm gonna look it
I'm
up
gonna give
now.
you half the
Star Wars
answer.
came out in 1977. So literally, what? 9 years before?
Which was the year Seth MacFarlane was born, which obviously shows
Yeah.
that the Orville.
Yes.
I don't know where I'm going with this.
Yes, it's a whole conspiracy. Oh yes, but that show that you're talking about that I
Expanse.
forgot.
The
Expanse.
Expanse.
Oh,
What
Expanse.
is it?
It's hard science fiction.
Hard science.
How hard is
hard
it?
fantasy, soft fantasy. Come
So
on,
it's
Cruz, you
so
must
it's
know
like
this.
porn.
Please elaborate.
Okay, like
It's like
soft,
your penis. It
Soft-
gets hard and sometimes it softens.
soft science fiction is like Star Trek or Star Wars. Like it's set in space, but you don't have to follow the rules of science. It's like, how do they travel through space? Warp engines and phasers and photon torpedoes.
It's a lie, Steven.
You don't have to explain the science. Hard science fiction is the opposite, where it's realistic.
You mean Interstellar?
Yes. Yes, yes, exactly. That's hard science fiction.
I know
Time
stuff.
Machine?
I know. I understood that.
I understood that reference.
Yeah.
Terminator?
Like, you don't have to. They explain the science of it. Like, it's not like fire a torpedo. It's like, no, fire a missile at this angle so it goes around the moon and hits the target.
Whoa. That's.
Back to the Future.
Are you still going? I was like, what is he talking about? I'm like looking at him, and you're in the background, like, oh.
He's gonna be a bad Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh
I was
yeah.
going, like Ant-Man and Avengers time travel.
Santo contra Dracula.
So, Back to the Future is all bullshit?
What?
Oh my god.
Why don't we go just back in time, find Ryan Johnson, and just...
Dude, that's cool.
Oh, like you know what's a good science fiction movie that a lot of people part in? The Almanac, right? Was it?
Project Almanac.
Project Almanac, right?
It won't reach.
Yeah, I remember that reference of Back to the
We
Future.
were the only ones in the theater going like, oh, they did it. And everyone
Yeah.
was like looking at us
All the
like,
teenagers
shut up.
like, what are you guys laughing about?
We're 22. Shut up. We're not that old.
Yeah, exactly. But so that show, where is it airing or where is it at?
It was on Sci-Fi. Now it's streaming.
Oh damn.
Where you can find it at?
I don't know.
Extreming?
Let me see. What is
Wow.
it called? The Expanse?
The Expanse, yeah.
Now, who's do you happen to know who's on the show?
It's a bunch of new actors.
Oh, that's
no
good.
one famous. No one
Well,
famous.
that's good, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because like, there's not a lot of big heads, right?
Yeah,
You could get it on Amazon Prime.
yeah. Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah. See, no one familiar.
Yeah.
Discount Jon Snow.
Punisher.
Yes. Oh, Punisher's in it?
He dies.
Why?
Jon Snow's in it?
Oh wow, that's a lot of people. Paris Hilton's in it. The actor dude.
It's Perez.
Perez Hilton.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow. Okay. Well, that's good. You would recommend it to anybody who is somewhat a
What,
fan
I like
of
this?
both.
Does it have pew pew?
Does it have pew pew?
It has pew pew, but real pew pew.
Would I get bored of it?
I get the feeling Cruz wouldn't like it.
It's too. It's too English.
This is what it is. It's Game of Thrones in space.
See.
So that's sex.
It's like Game of Thrones. Like all these countries are fighting each other in space, while a hidden enemy from somewhere else is coming on their way.
Well, I watch Game of Thrones, so I'll probably watch this.
They even have the bad guy from Gotham, right? The one with I'm with Bane.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I am one of you. I'm with Bane.
I'm with Bane. No, okay, so you would recommend it for those who are
Die
fans
Hard.
of... No, well, not Die Hard, but they're looking for something like Star Trek from the old...
It's not like Star Trek. It's its own cool science fiction. That's what I like it. It does something new.
Okay.
like all sci-fi, it's like, oh, we're gonna fly to Alpha Centauri. This one all takes place in our solar system. Their technology sucks in this show.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
It's just like fuck. It's like episode 4 in Star Wars where everything looks like junk.
Yeah. Everything you were watching like, what a piece of junk. Their spaceships, I'll admit, look ugly as fuck.
Oh yeah.
But you're like, yeah, that's how we would design spaceships in real life.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
I think I'm gonna check this out.
I probably will, but thanks for telling me.
Everybody dies.
Ah,
No, just kidding.
Spoilers.
Everyone's dead in this show. No way. Anderson comes out?
Who?
No, Jared Harris. The bad guy from Moriarty from...
He plays a...
Yeah, I was reading his...
He plays a Beltalon in this one.
Is he a bad guy?
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
Ah, yeah.
No, he's a freedom fighter.
Oh, boo.
He's a terrorist.
Yay! Wait.
You're lost.
Terrorists are
You don't know
bad.
what to do.
Terrorists are bad.
Bobby ran.
Oh, yeah. Bad. All right. Okay. So, do you feel like you've kind of vented about Star Trek Discovery?
There is no room in the depths of hell for my hatred for Discovery.
What is one thing you
Well,
can say?
folks, it looks like we're gonna be here for another 2 hours.
Oh, no, I
It
can't.
would be forever.
Okay, if you could say something, a phrase or sentence about Star Trek Discovery, what would it be?
Trash.
Try again.
Try again.
Like, it's... Remember your roots.
Yeah.
Orville, Seth MacFarlane, do him. Get him. That's more Star Trek than you are.
Damn.
I enjoyed the Orville.
Yeah, it's good Star Trek.
And he was supposed to get it, right? Originally,
Yeah.
he was supposed to get Star Trek.
He went up to NBC and told them, I have an idea for Star Trek. And they were like, no. And then Fox was like, he told Fox, I want to make a science fiction show. They're like, you gave us Family Guy.
They're like pounds of money behind him. Sure, why not?
Here, I see money.
Yeah, make a show. That's adorable.
And people like it. People watch it. So it's
Yeah.
got the views.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and genitals. I know Chris is gonna check the views, and I'm glad. All right, folks. This was our talk about a show that makes people either rant about it.
Or the rant.
This was the rant. Thank you and have a nice
The
day.
screaming slice.
May the force be with you.